Hello, Proximity Math here. I'm going to go over the 2014 SMT Advanced number 8. A0, A1, and so on is a sequence of positive integers where A sub n is at factorial for all n less or equal to 3. So that just means the sequence goes like 1, 1, 2, then 6 for the first 4 terms. Okay. Moreover, for all other n, A sub n is the smallest positive integer such that this is an integer for all integers I between 0 and n inclusive. Okay, that means, well, what this implies is that a sub I times a sub n minus I divides a sub n. So that means a sub 0 times a sub 4. Yeah, obviously that divides a sub 4, and it will for any n. And a sub 1 times a sub 3 divides a sub 4. And it basically goes inwards because it's I and n minus I. So you're taking the product of these two terms, and it basically goes inwards. And if you wanted to divide sub n, that means a sub n has to be the LCM, the least common multiple of all of these products. That's the most important thing to note. Okay, that means a sub 4. So we have a sub 0, a sub 4. That means it's at least 6. And 1 and 2, that makes it 6. Okay, now a sub 5, if you have I equals 0, then we have a sub 0 times a sub 5, so it's at least 6. 6 divides a sub 5, and then we have a sub 1, a sub 4, a sub 1. Yeah, a sub 1, a sub 4, actually. Yeah, so 6 divides a sub 5, and then a sub 2, a sub 3, so 12 divides a sub 5. And the LCM of 12 and 6 is 12. And then the same way, we have a sub 1, a sub 5, and that 12 divides a sub 6, then 12 divides a sub 6, and then here we have I and n minus I are equal if n is even, apparently. So we have 6 times 6, which is a sub where I is equal to 3. 1, 2, 3, yeah. And that makes it such that 6 times 6 is 36 divides a sub n. So we have it at least being 36. And we can continue this onward. And now notice that no matter what you do, you'll only have factors of 2 and 3. You started with 2 and 3, so if you're taking the LCM or the least number, integer that divides, that all these divide that number, it's gonna be in the form 2 to the a times 3 to the b. And this is pretty obvious if you look at the sequence too. Okay, now this is probably the hard part of the problem, but the efficient way to break it up into powers of 2 and 3, you can actually make a chart. N sub 2 and n sub 3 represent that power of 2 and power of 3 in the factorization of a sub n. Okay, and for the first two numbers, both of these are 0, because 3 to 0 times 2 to 0 is the only thing you can use to make 1. And we have a 2 here, and then a 6, and then another 6, and then a 12, a 36, 12, okay, that's going to be, and then a 36 is going to be like this. And note that it's only increasing, and it's following that direct pattern. Eventually it's going to increase by 1. So to see what's happening here, all we're doing is the process from before. We're taking this product that depends on I, and we're going inward. So if we want we have how many terms? Oh yes, okay, we have a sub 6. So a sub 7 would be with I equals 1, a sub 1 times a sub 6. So if you multiply those two numbers, you're adding the powers you have n sub 2 and n sub 3 in their factorization. So 0 plus 2 is 2 to the 2 must divide a sub 7. And then you find the largest of all the sums as you go inward, and that will represent the sum of the exponents, which is in turn the largest product of the powers of 2 in the factorization of n. So we have, okay, this is a sub 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then to find a sub 7, we take a sub 1, a sub 6, okay, 2 to the 2. And then actually we can match these two, so that's what I did wrong. You actually have 2 to the 3 in the factorization of a sub 7, and then 2 here. And it goes on. If you continue this pattern, you get that every 2, it increments by 1. And the power of 3 increases by 1 every 3, and the power of 2 increases by 1 every 2, except for the first few numbers. You can take n divided by 2 and subtract 1 to follow that pattern. And then on the power of 3, it repeats every 3, and you can just divide it by 3. So 671, and there's one more, it's one more than 671 times 3. So if you go one more, it's still that same power of 3. So you can just put 671. It's best to leave it in the swarm. Thanks for watching.